Hey, this is the Ortelius Outreach Committee meeting, June 7th, 2021. And on that, I am passing it off to our fearless leader, Siddharth.
Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome to Monday. Welcome to yet another day full of promises, full of hopes, full of expectations.
And coffee.
Okay. And maybe it's a good coffee. Let me share my screen. Quick one. In the meantime, the screen sharing is happening. One thing that I wanted to call out is you dropped a note last week about the Ortelius First Proud podcast. You've gathered some ideas. What we wanted was opinion of yours. Okay, I guess my system has got hanged up. Sorry.
Is there something you want me to share?
Yes, I wanted to share that Tortoise document of the podcast.
Okay, you, for the blogcast, for the,
Yes.
okay, I'll do that for you.
You find it?
Yep. There you go. And I will put it in the chat as well. Come on. Guess I won't. Chat doesn't want to come up. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Siddharth, you there? Did we lose him? Well, I will continue on. I'm sure he will join back. Siddharth created this document for us in an effort to create some categories and to think about the kinds of podcasts we would like to present. So we've done some work on it. We've got 5 different high-level topics from the microservice journey down through team empowerment and diversity and inclusion and open source. The 3 technical ones, the microservice journey would be anything about the process of implementing, going through the implementation of microservices. The second category really would be the basic struggles with Kubernetes, getting feedback on how people are structuring their clusters, pods, and namespaces related back to the application and how they're tracking that. The third topic would be really what's driving it and the cultural changes, what's happening within the organization to move to modern architecture where you're really having to share objects across teams, how the culture is changing, if there's a structure at the higher level that's beginning to shift, is, our directors becoming, having more of a shared culture, or managers. And then talking about the kind of what that we hear now, the humans of DevOps, team empowerment, how how the fail fast is working in this environment, what new tools and trends are teams bringing in from the open source world, and then one of my favorite topics, which is diversity and inclusion and open source. And these would be things that we are actively working on within Ortelius to build a more diverse community. So those are the topics. None of this is set in stone yet. Siddharth did send an email out asking all of you to really think it through, take a look at it, and think about what else we might want to include on here if we're missing something, or add a subcategory or delete a category if you don't think it's appropriate. And I've coined a new term, cooperative delivery. that I coined for the CNCF application enablement team. And that cooperative delivery has to do with the updating database and infrastructure changes along with an application release. Because as we know now, a microservice may have its own database and it may have its own infrastructure updates. So somehow we're having to think about patterns and anti-patterns and being able to coordinate all those areas.
That's an awesome topic.
It is a good topic.
I'm doing that exactly now. Right at the moment.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
it's one of those, the cooperative delivery is a great term because it does encapsulate what's really happening and what we're trying to achieve.
It's perfectly named, I must say, because it's totally cooperative. I have to work with a number of people to get it to make it happen.
Well, maybe
Exactly.
Maybe I should have
It's-
saved it for us instead of giving it to the CNCF team.
Sorry.
But that is what
Well, we'll see if they use it at all.
they probably will. They were pretty excited about it. But for that
Sorry to
reason,
jump on. I just saw that now when you were talking.
yeah, for that reason, we should definitely, if you're interested in this area, the CNCF has a working group that they're going to start, and it'll be, I'm assuming they're going to probably call it cooperative delivery. And anybody can get involved in these discussions. You do not have to be a member of the CNCF. You can be end users. So maybe I'll start publishing the CNCF and the CDF working groups that I think that the Ortelius team should try to be a part of if they can at least, be on the team, be able to get the docs and see where they're going with it. It'll be good exposure for all of us. So, so that is where we're at with the podcast. Sasha, you were on the list of in terms of driving the podcast with Karam and Saim and Siddharth.
Okay.
So it's that you are part of the core team to take a look at this. And once this is
Awesome.
done, then I'll create a form. I did create a form at one point and sent it out. What we'll do is we'll create a form that has little radio buttons that says select your topic, what out of this subcategory list, what they want to talk about. And then we'll send it off to, everybody that we know and get started as quickly as possible on that. I think we'll do it low key at first and then start from there. The other interesting thing that happened, and I posted this out while I'm sharing my screen, is this. So there's a Cloud Native Twitch channel now, and it looks like they're starting to shift things over to Twitch. So what I think we should do is with the with our podcast is we use Buzzsprout for managing our podcast, because those can be kept. We can organize them, we can manage them, we can push them out through social network really easy, and they stick around. These are all going to disappear after 14 days, I think. I think even if you have a pro version, it's maybe 90 days. But we should be broadcasting. I want to actually even start broadcasting this meeting, because if I was broadcasting this meeting, then, for example, it's all recorded and somebody else can start helping pulling it down, editing it, and pushing it up to our YouTube channel. So it'll be a more cooperative kind of way of managing these calls and anything that we do for that matter. So I think that focusing on our channel is a good thing, and it looks like this is a direction that the Cloud Native Foundation is doing. I thought that there was one for the Continuous Delivery Foundation.
There is a way to hook up the Zoom to Twitch. There is a bridge between the two. So let me figure that out. and it should be pretty easy to do that type of broadcast. For the podcast, well, because you're going to broadcast this on Twitch, do we need work on a specific like background or layout?
We do. And I also, I just named it initially Beaming Ortelius, but I almost feel like we could name it something around microservices hosted by Ortelius, because we want to have discussions around, we're trying to, kind of stake that, we're trying to claim the microservices thought leadership. So we may want to think about renaming that.
I would rename, what about cooperative delivery of microservices?
Yeah, certainly we could probably take that. Siddharth is back. Yay, Siddharth. Sorry, I just went ahead and continued on with your discussion. I'm going to push you back to here. This is where you left off.
Yes. So what I was saying was there are initial categories and subcategories that have been jotted down. We want your opinion because this is again a community, not a one-driven person organization. So what we want is please review it, the categories and subcategories. If you think there is another category or subcategory you want to add, or an existing category you want to add the other subcategories, please go ahead and edit it. What will happen is, and I said in the previous session also, it will become a bit structured of what we're expecting by any speaker who comes up, in what category or subcategory we wish him to talk about. And it could be multiple also, but as I always say, structure liberates. So I think I've dropped an email with the document link also last week. Please review it and give your opinion. And the opinion is that every opinion counts. Each opinion counts in fact.
And do you have a deadline for this? Do you think we should by next Tuesday,
Yes.
which is, so if we can get it,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's our general meeting. So if we can get it done by next Tuesday, any comments?
So by next week, whatever comes in, whatever comes in, we will go for it. Else, we will do one. We're targeting to do one podcast at least this month.
I think one would be good.
Yeah. Coming back to the other one was just continuing to where Tracy left when I joined in. What again, my opinion. Even if we talk about microservices or we talk to what extent it is, let's name it without any technical nomenclature. We can have a theme around the organizations. If you want to talk about microservices, that is cool. But let's make it beaming the one. And why this thing came up is I was doing a recent podcast with PagerDuty, and what they've done is they've not called it out a PagerDuty podcast. They named it as Page to the Limit podcast. So the intent of why this community is driven should come out rather than what you want to talk about. So the theme is beaming podcast. What we want to do in this is could be microservices. Another thing which I want to call out, and a bit of a surprise numbers is our followers on LinkedIn has increased by 100% in last 1 year.
That's me. I've been pushing it really, really hard. So I've been reaching out to everybody I know on LinkedIn and inviting them. I've tried to invite my I think you're allowed to invite 100 a month, and I did that for last month. So hopefully that's probably why that you're talking about the LinkedIn page, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I've been working on that every single day. I have been pushing that and pushing that and pushing that. So that is probably because I have been hustling on that. And I renamed the other page. It's no longer, it doesn't have anything.
So the group is gone?
Yeah. That was what we talked about. Dang it, I can't get it to it. There. So we have
I think you
100.
need a extra GPU for only for your LinkedIn. Tracy.
I probably do.
Going what you know.
So we have, where's the number here?
Yes, you will.
We had 56 new followers. So I have been pushing this page a lot. I think that my mistake was I kept pushing the other page. And so this one now I've been pushing, and I'll continue doing that for the next couple months to get the numbers up. But yeah, it's great that I'm getting people. If I ask them to follow us, they're actually accepting. So I think that has a lot to do with my profile because I've really worked on my profile. So I should be able to continue with this, Siddharth. I'll try to get it up to around 200. That's my goal.
Okay. So that is what it is. Also, what we were talking about earlier was Tracy is giving a talk at our organization, which is NatWest Group. And NatWest Group is a bank of brands. If you know it or not know it, it is somewhere around close to 400 years old banking group. So she's giving a talk. If you want to hear her, let me know. I can add you into the participant list.
You'll see what I look like at 5 in the morning. I'll be like, what?
Yes, I miss calling it out. She's giving a talk at 5 in the morning as per her time.
5 in the morning. What is that our time? Like evening.
Okay. Evening India time it is 5 p.m.
Sasha, what time is it for you right now?
Oh, I think I could join that. That'd be amazing. I'd love to hear that. Yeah. Oh, I mean, 5 in the morning plus a couple of hours. Yeah, I'll be able to join that. Sounds great.
It's 12:30 UK time.
Yeah, it's 3
What's that?
hours. 3 hours earlier than now, whatever time it is now.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Unless I'm stuck in some meeting, I'll definitely join that.
Yeah, it'll be during the workday for you.
Okay, cool.
All right. So whoever interested, just drop me a note. I'll add you into the attendee list.
Awesome. I like the subjects, for the podcast. They're all great, man. I had to skim through them now.
Good.
Yeah, I think they're great.
All right. That's it from me, Steve and Tracy.
I don't have anything else other than
When are we gonna? So the form for the podcast sign up will go up. We'll get that taken care of before the general meeting, so at the general meeting people can then sign up.
I think we'll wait until the general meeting to make sure everybody's okay with those topics.
Okay.
And then I'll get it out. And then I think what we should do before I push that form too heavily is we just get a couple of podcasts scheduled amongst the core committers and make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row.
Got it.
Unless Siddharth, you want to take a more aggressive approach and just go for it. I think we should take it slow.
I like a cooperative one. I'm doing that right at the moment. It's very interesting. Pure GitOps. So cool.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put a GitOps category in there. That might be something that we want to do.
Yeah, I'm doing it all at the moment. I'm doing GitOps. All companies converting to GitOps. Very interesting.
I'm going to put
The whole process.
I'm going to add a category in microservice architecture and best practices. No, let's do it under that's probably the place to do it under best practices. I'm going to add a category for GitOps.
How long is a podcast generally? Are we setting are we ring fencing that?
That's a really good question. I don't think anybody wants to sit on anything that's longer than 30 minutes. I have said on
Yeah.
podcasts that are an hour, but they're long. I feel
They
like
are,
30
yeah.
minutes is about the right length. Now,
Okay.
I've said on ones that I really enjoyed that were only 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that too, like 15 minutes, longest 30 minutes.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say shooting for 15 minutes, and if you go over a little bit would be
It's a
kind
good,
of,
it's a
because
good balance.
basically it's like, one question or, one little topic that you get to talk about. And then, because you can have as many podcasts as you want, if you want to talk GitOps, and you could just talk around, what is GitOps, and that takes 15 minutes. And then you go and do another podcast like how to set up GitOps. And so you have a lot of little podcasts that people can pick and choose what they want to listen to.
Cool. I mean, if I was going to do a talk, which I will definitely do one, a podcast, my one would like sort of hit between the two, GitOps and cooperative delivery, because it actually fits into both.
It does.
If I'm understanding correctly what you mean by cooperative delivery.
Yeah, the only problem that it has, GitOps, is that it doesn't do the best job of updating the database and tracking how to roll back pieces of a database. So it's an all or
Good
nothing.
point.
It's all or nothing. Now for the infrastructure, it works great. And I think for the most part at the application level, GitOps works great. But where it starts breaking down is when you really are moving to a microservice architecture and you have a lot of YAML files that you're having to manage through these branches, and you end up with a lot of branching and merging, and that can be problematic depending on where you store the key value pairs or variables that you're using. I was on a I think it was a podcast with Cornelia Davis and a bunch of other people who are talking a lot about this topic. And I brought up this fact that this was one of the challenges, and the chat window went like crazy. People were saying, "Yeah, we're starting to branch to hell," is what one person said. Because you just end up with a lot of little changes, and it can't. That's the human part that we have to solve on the Ortilia side. And that's the focus area that we're trying to bring, because we could even do that on the database side, because we know how to do things incrementally. So we could we could generate the database change that needs to be out there potentially, and then push that out. So there's some work that needs to be done on GitOps, and that's what the folks in Australia are trying to really figure out, how we can play in that space, how we can fix that part of it.
I can add my 2 cents, because I'm going through this whole process right now, working with a number of different teams, from like team to manage this portion of the deployment, a team to manage this portion, and another team to manage another portion. Yeah. And I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, the backbone of Artilius was intended to do exactly this, is to be able to take all of the parts and pieces and move them. That's why it's got all the versioning stuff on the back end to try to keep track of the configurations of all the parts and pieces. Yeah. So it has the ability to solve these kinds of problems.
This is good, because I got the go-ahead to put Ortelius in the dev. So once we're through a lot of the projects, that's the next step, is to put Ortelius in. So it is coming. It's coming. It's been discussed, and it's been okay.
Well, then you know the man to bug to make sure that you're able to coordinate all the pieces. The database is probably the most complex in terms of, because you have to have a rollback script and a roll forward script.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Even if you're using something like an RDS, you still need those scripts, right? Because you still got to roll that database back.
Yeah,
or roll it forward.
Yeah. You just try to take the manual process out of it. That's the whole idea.
Cool.
Alrighty. Any other?
Some time.
So now you have something to talk about for a podcast. You just have to
Yeah,
talk
I'll
about
work.
it in 15 minutes.
I didn't want to start because I was going to probably just raff on forever. Okay, cool.
Anybody else out there have anything, one of DTs out there? Anybody, Bala, Francois, any thoughts? Love to hear from you. They're just quiet. They're like, no, don't ask me.
Oh, hi, Tracy. I mean, this is my first session, so I'm just listening about the opinion of each other. So now,
Well, why don't you introduce yourself to the team?
thank you, Tracy. Hi, everyone. I'm François Gilbert Choumo, and I'm a cloud solution architect, AWS cloud solution architect. I'm working for Agilios on a government project. And I do have very good experience with various open source tools like Jenkins, Terraform, also TerraGround, which is a Terraform wrapper, Kubernetes, Docker as well. So
Welcome aboard.
Yes, thank you for
thank you.
attending.
Bonjour.
And just another side note, we had 3 of our committers get accepted to be nominated for the TOC. So their name's on the list. Siddharth is on the list, Greem is on the list, and Brad McCoy is on the list to be added to the TOC. There's going to be 2 people from the general community. And there were several names, and then they went through the names and pulled the people that they felt had the most experience. And we had 3 of you out of, I think there were 6, 3 of us, 3 of you came from here. So that's great. Good job. It's awesome to have that kind of representation. Let's hope that one of you at least get elected to it. Or out of 3, we have a pretty good chance to get you on the board. And Steve is now on the TOC for the CDF. He got elected as a project as opposed to a general end user.
Nice.
All right, everybody keep our fingers crossed, and maybe we'll get some good TOC news, and we'll talk to
Yes.
you all Thursday or next Tuesday.
We're going to
Okay.
abduct
Yes, bye.
more.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you.